At the beginning of July, the two of us landed at Keflavik Airport in Iceland, picked up our rental car, and drove to a seaside village for our first night camping. On the second day, we started our trip around the island. We saw our first geothermal springs, the coastline, and went on a hike across fresh lava fields from recent volcanic eruptions. Then we visited more hot springs and a beautiful big lake. In the evening, we went for a walk near the next campsite. The next day, we started with a hike to a hot river, where of course we took a bath. Later, we visited the national park where two tectonic plates meet. The weather got worse, and after seeing the Golfus waterfall, we drove south to escape the rain. The next morning it was still drizzling, so we continued along the south coast, visiting waterfalls and black sand beaches one by one. When we reached a scenic canyon driving through moss-covered lava fields, the weather finally cleared up. The night was calm and clear. In the morning, we reached a trail with views of glacier and then another waterfall surrounded by basalt columns. After finishing the trail, we drove to another glacier viewpoint, this time with dark ice blocks close enough to touch. After a few more glacier stops, we arrived at the famous lagoon with icebergs floating out to the sea. The sun was shining again, and the blue glittering ice looked amazing. We spent the night at the foot of the Vestrahorn mountains. On the sixth day, we explored a Viking village near our campsite and admired a huge black beach in the same spot. Where we also found fresh remains of a humpback whale washed ashore. That place left a big impression on me, with its raw beauty and the power of the mountains. During the day, we hiked through a canyon in a dried-out river delta. After more beaches and viewpoints, we relaxed in a hot spring in the southeast of the island. We camped in a beautiful spot surrounded by mountains. We started the next day with a waterfall. Most of the day was spent driving through the eastern fjords, stopping many times to admire the stunning mountains and beaches. The weather was perfect, though the water was freezing cold. After visiting more waterfalls, a seaside cave, and crossing a mountain pass, we reached one of the most picturesque towns in Iceland. Sunny morning encouraged us to go inland this time. After hiking to two very tall waterfalls, we soaked in hot springs in the highlands. The weather inland wasn't great, so we returned to the coast. We also saw a canyon with blue water and a river delta near the campsite. On the ninth day, we hiked to a canyon full of basalt columns. Walking inside among those huge rocks was really impressive. Crossing lava fields and old volcanic craters, we reached more geothermal spots, bubbling mud, steaming rocks, the smell of sulfur, and stunning mountain views from the trail. We saw a turquoise lake formed by a geothermal power plant, a crater lake. A cave with blue water and other local attractions. After a night in Husavik, we went on a morning whale-watching trip in the bay, surrounded by scenic mountains. Conditions were perfect. Warm, sunny, no waves, a beautiful summer day. Whales showed up, even quite close to the boat, surfacing often for air. The mountains across the bay, with an abandoned house on the slope, were just as striking. After whale watching, we headed toward Akureyri, stopping to bathe in a hot spring right above a waterfall flowing into a fjord, an amazing spot for a swim. After exploring Akureyri and some smaller towns, we reached almost the far north. The evening golden sunlight shining on the mountains around the villages amazed me every day. Our campsite was right next to an outdoor pool with hot tubs, which we used in the morning sunshine. It was probably one of the warmest days. Then we hiked up to a mountain pass. The view of the fjord covered in clouds on the other side was beautiful. After another charming village, we had to keep going west through the northern fjords. It got colder. In the morning, we visited a canyon with waterfalls. Then went to see seals. We found many seals resting on sandbanks on the other side of the bay's mouth. After checking a few more spots with fewer seals, we relaxed in a hot tub at an outdoor pool in Hwamstangi, enjoying a sunny evening. At night, we camped in a scenic spot and watched a wonderful sunset. After a sunny morning, we drove on, but rain finally caught us on the slopes of a volcanic crater. The forecast showed better weather inland, so we went there. On the way, we saw another waterfall and then reached Iceland's longest lava cave. It was huge and intimidating. With headlamps, we walked a good stretch along the rocky bottom inside. The cave felt even scarier because it had no man-made paths or lights. When we turned off the lamps, it was total darkness. After a short but heavy rain, we drove further inland on a gravel road all the way to a glacier. After a short walk on its surface and enjoying the sparkling snow, we decided to continue south along the F550 road. The raw, untouched landscapes stayed with us all the way. We camped on the southern side of the glacier. The coast had worse forecasts, and we still had one important thing left to do. Early in the morning, we continued through the highlands. The F208 gravel road was the toughest we had driven, and the trip took much longer than Google Maps suggested. also stopped to see waterfalls, rivers, wild mountain landscapes, and a huge crater with a blue lake. When we finally arrived at the national park, the view of the colorful mountains looked out of this world. The shapes and colors are unique. I've never seen anything like it anywhere else. You have to see it in person. The famous multicolored mountains of Landmannalaugar. I really wanted to see them. At the end of the road, there's a river crossing with a mountain campsite on the other side. You can also leave the car before the crossing to avoid flooding the engine. We hiked up to a mountain peak. The trail led through unreal landscapes, red slopes, steaming geothermal springs, mossy lava fields, green valleys, and rocky riverbeds. It all felt otherworldly. After a night in the mountains and a morning swim in the hot river at the campsite, it was time to head back toward the airport. On the way, we stopped at one of the tallest waterfalls in Iceland. It was worth it. The trail led from the top of a giant canyon down to the base of the waterfall. It just so happened that few days earlier a volcano had erupted near Grindavik. After a long drive, we reached the area and quickly found a parking lot that allowed us to get closer to the active volcano. We wanted to see erupting lava with our own eyes. The trail to the glowing lava field was about 10 kilometers round trip. Watching the volcano shoot red fountains of lava into the sky was unforgettable. I didn't expect the sound to be so loud. The sun was hidden behind volcanic fumes. The next day was going to be the last of our trip around Iceland. After a night in Grindavik and a morning surprise of finding whale bones on a rocky coast, we went to see Reykjavik and then headed to the airport. Here's our rough road around Iceland. In 16 days we covered about 3,200 kilometers, driving around 3 hours a day on average. It never got completely dark, so the days felt really long, which let us make the most of them. The weather was mostly great. We had some very cold nights, but also a few hot days. During the day, the temperature was usually between 15 and 20 Celsius degrees. It only rained in 3 days, and even then not for long. As you can see on the map, there's still a lot left to explore on another trip, because I'll definitely be coming back to Iceland. My favorite places were the Landmannalaugar, the Eastern Fjords, the Northern Fjords, and the Stoksnes headland. The hardest area to reach is the inland's interior. We had a 4x4 car, but to cross deeper rivers and tackle the really rough roads, you would need a proper high-clearance vehicle with a snorkel. There's still so much ahead of us, and thanks for watching!